Good morning, everybody. Hope everyone is doing well. Mal will be up here in just a moment, and I want everyone to know that often I choose to drink coffee in the morning. However, this is actually hot chocolate. I put hot chocolate in the hot chocolate mug in solidarity for our December cups. So I hope everyone is doing good this morning. I'm doing nice. Having had a sip of hot chocolate. Anyway, hi everybody. Yeah, okay. That looks normal. Is it with milk or water? This is with milk. This is with milk specifically because the mix that I used does not have any dairy in it. So, I made it. It is, yes, it is Silly Cow. Mark sent this in. Haley says water is not an option. I've went through a long thing with this, and I actually know objectively the correct answers for these questions. Because there's a big debate about water versus milk. And the truth is, it depends on your mix. That's what it depends on. Because if your mix contains powdered milk, you can make it with water. It has milk in it. Now, at a very like low level, like, does all hot chocolate need to contain milk? Yes, in some form, yes.
It's always better with milk.
But it has milk.
More milk.
I disagree.
Concentrated milk.
I actually disagree. I think that part is subjective, personally. So like the Swiss Miss packs, they have powdered milk in them. Therefore, you can use water. It's fine.
But it's not as good.
That part is subjective. Because they do taste slightly differently. Not necessarily one's like, oh my god, this one's so much better. They're subjective. However, if you use a mix that has no powdered milk in it, you cannot use water. It is not the same thing. Because I've tried that. And it's, it's chocolate water, and that is bad.
I've probably told this story, but the Swiss Miss factory was like a block from my dorm, and it smelled like chocolate milk all the time. Or hot chocolate all the time.
Anyway.
I agree with you, Mr. Game Boy.
I mean, it's everyone is allowed to be wrong, but I put in the research.
Kipple.
And like, is it true? There has to be some form of milk in the hot chocolate. Yes, that part is true. But if it has powdered milk in the mix, you can use water. It's fine. Anyway, I didn't expect to start the stream with that. Let me read you some things. What are you doing over there? You gonna come over here?
That's a weird spot for him to sit.
What you just standing over there for? Don't do that.
Come on.
Come here.
Snuggle.
Come here. Come here. Come be like Snaby.
He's a little scared of Snaby.
You scared of Snaby?
It's bigger than him.
No.
It is.
Snaby small. Snaby tiny. Come here. Come cuddle. Come here. Or don't. I mean, I can't make you do anything. We get 9 months from Mizuki Celestine, 35 months from Wilhelm Heinlein, 43 months from Darkness Bride, 22 from Ketsuke Rande, 38 months from Leafly, 26 from Mana Banana Bread, 21 from Kerbeb, 305 bits from Furry Zoe says, new Mario Kart update released along with a new addition to Versus and Online. Imagine this and tell me what you think. 200 TC with only blue shells. It's possible and it's chaotic. So, that is true. There's a new Mario Kart update, Wave 3, I think it's 3. Added new courses, and then also the ability to change what items you want on. However, one of the things... Oh, God.
You're
Sorry.
having a flare-up.
Yeah, my caustic chondritis has been not happy with me. Maybe the exercise, I don't know. One of the things you can do, which is really interesting, is you can do it based on team. And that is interesting. So you can do team stuff, and you can say, well, only this team gets bombs, and only this team gets bananas. Like, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
That's really interesting, because you could make literally like your own game types. So, something to think about. You know, I thought of Tom immediately, and then I looked on Twitter, and he had said something about it, and I was like, well, he's already thinking of things.
Hi, kitty. You lay down? You good boy.
Hi, buddy. He did it. He came here. And also, he chose you.
He looked at you, but you didn't see him do that, so you didn't move the keyboard for him.
Oh, poor thing.
Now we snuggle.
Good cat. We got 36 months from KRC David. Congrats on 3.
He was sniffing my one hand. I only had one hand.
7 months from Cascadea. 49 from Sapphire Becca. 31 from The Bassoonist. 300 from Chill Days. It says, I've been playing through the Skyrim Anniversary update lately, and I gotta say, it is so weird to play Skyrim content that you haven't covered. It's weird, because Skyrim is already a very long game, and like when it came out, it was like, oh, Skyrim big. And then, you know, later on, it's like, oh, revisiting a game and discovering things that you didn't play before is just a weird concept. They're doing the same thing to The Witcher. The Witcher 3 is about to re-release with a bunch of new content also. So, yeah, Morrowind when. I will cover. I will cover the next Elder Scrolls, but the time commitment for old ones is too large, so I cannot go backwards in time. It is too. I've already dedicated so much of my life to the new ones. Morrowind Monopoly, though, Paul's on to something.
Who's a good Kepler?
I'd be willing to do that. We get 30 months from Frorwolf and 6 months from Legend of Kiara. Thank you. I need this. I needed this since I sat down.
Oh, you should have said something. I had it.
Well, it's fine. It's totally fine. I don't know if I'm going to play... I might try Starfield when it comes out. But as far as, like... I commit to a 200-episode LP. Like, that is harder for Stephen to commit to. I committed to so many things in my 20s. And now in my 30s, I'm like... I'm going to be a little more selective.
Kepler.
Just a little bit.
Kepler, you get to go see the vet on Monday. You do.
He loves the vet.
We'll make you love the vet yet. Yeah.
Now, I am looking forward to Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, that.
Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom. That I'm looking forward to. But other long games, I'm like, yeah. 3 different Gold Major says, if 2 big games like Tears of the Kingdom and Elder Scrolls 6 came out within the same 2 years, would you alternate weeks for Friday streams or do something different? Would Mal join for the next Elder Scrolls game instead of finishing it on her own in a few months? These are questions that I do not have the answers to. I will say that there are games that I'm really excited for. So let's make this a crazy scenario, right? Let's say that in the span of 18 months, we get Tears of the Kingdom, Elder Scrolls 6, which I don't think we will because
Pikmin 4.
I think those are further away. No, another long game, Grand Theft Auto 6, which is reasonable. Grand Theft Auto 6 is in production. A bunch of it leaked like a few months back. I want to play all these games, and I probably want to play them when they come out. And like, how would I manage that? And the answer is, I have no idea. I have no idea. But would I try? I would probably try. So that's the only answer I really have, is like, I would like to do them. I don't know how. What if you just quit your job? Instead of doing any of them, I just disappear from the internet. You know what? I've chosen none of them. Yeah, like Armored Folk says, I think Elder Scrolls is actually quite a ways out. I don't think that's coming anytime soon. We know Tears of the Kingdom is next year. I don't think it's going to get any further delays. I think that's definitely happening. Grand Theft Auto 6 is probably, my guess would be 2024. So hopefully these are going to be spaced out just enough that, like, you know, it's not a problem. God, I have so much sleep in my eyes this morning. What happened?
Satsy, I saw that last night and the new stuff. I really like the pin.
Too many games. I'm out. Anyway, Tears of the Kingdom, Mao and I will do together because that's how we do Breath of the Wild. So we can at least say that.
Spiritomb has a good point.
Spiritomb? Yeah, just play Okage. Just play Okage. Anyway, Mao and I will do Zelda together. I will likely do Elder Scrolls by myself. Just that's a huge commitment, and I'm not going to drag Mao into that. But I don't know when those things are happening. Do Okage with you, Haley.
Is Haley one? Me.
Yeah.
Us two.
Yeah. Is Haley one of the few people on the earth that has played through Okage? Oh wow. Oh wow. Because like, well, that's cool. Because like, it's not a terribly well-known game. Yeah. Oh, that's the other good thing. Chess says, also, we can't say anything for sure more than a couple months out because the platforms change, and we love that. Yeah. Yeah. It's fine. It's totally fine. It's not. It's totally fine. I love it so much. 300 bits from Platinum Pikachu says, it's been several days, and I still haven't gotten over Thomas's line. These are the ho-ho-holes. From that one Golf with Your Friends episode. Speaking of, I've been loving how much Golf with Your Friends we've been seeing recently. Yeah, I think the big change was just them giving the community the opportunity to make levels. You know, and because some of them are actually quite good. Did the one come out? Puther's Peak, is that out yet? I don't remember if that's out yet.
Thomas said, just wait for the classic JRPG algorithm to shine. And Haley said, Xenogears when?
Okay, Puther's Peak did come out last Saturday. Puther's Peak is extremely good. Like, all of the custom ones are like, they're fun, and like sometimes they're really weird or unique or interesting. Puther's Peak is good. I remember doing when we did that course, I was like, this one feels like a real one. Puther's Peak's one of the real ones. It felt like it was a first party course. It's also a good episode, but that's because my friends are in it. That's right. I love my friends. But it is like a really good one. It's got. I remember being very impressed by the density of the foliage So, yeah, so it's a good example. The Sonic course was fun and unique. It did not feel like it was a first-party course. Hey, screw you, man. We love you too. Aggressive love.
There's a lot of friends in chat this morning.
Uh-huh. Haley and Chaz and Paul and Thomas, oh my. Mm-hmm. I'm here for it. I love that. We've got 510 bits from Anise who says, so I was today years old when I figured out I can join the vlog Discord. What is the server name if I don't follow the link from Twitch? I don't know if it'll work. Does it work? I guess it would work. Chaz has got the link for you. It's a Patreon Discord, but I guess technically you can join it. You just may not be able to see things other than like the releases or something.
I don't know.
I'm not actually sure how it would work, to be perfectly honest. Chaz has got the best answer. You join the Discord via Patreon and all the information is available there. That's true. That part is true.
Paul said that he had a lot of vacation time he had to use before the end of the year.
Yeah.
And he took today and tomorrow off.
Oh, nice. Nice. I think taking a day off is really nice. I have been trying to occasionally take off Sundays with varying levels of success. December is going to be an interesting one for me because like I'm trying really hard to catch some stuff up, and it makes I've been doing a really good job about like the life part of the work-life balance. Past few months have been great, but December is the month where every fiber of my being is screaming to be like, hey, catch up. And I'm just like, I will tell you that some of the hardest vlogs were Thanksgiving and Black Friday. And Thanksgiving is done. It will release at the end of Breakfast Stream. It's a very good one. And I am just near as a hair done editing Black Friday. And it, knock on wood, should be out today also. They're two longer ones. They're very good. And I'm excited for folks to see them. And then, God, I'm trying very, very hard to get things caught up. Thomas, just stop doing stuff. Easy vlog. That's the problem with the vlog. It's a project never ends. So like you just, it's hard. It's hard. I just want to be caught up because it feels good, and I can breathe. I can breathe a little bit better, and then also I can do fun things within the vlog. I can do a little more complex things, and I can keep up with it, and then also I don't feel guilty for doing it. So. It is a clown. 3 bits from Radio Dread, thank you. Working backwards, Armored Frog gifted a sub to Paul, PDB Fish Sticks. 300 bits from Platinum Pikachu says, for once I actually forgot to add a keyword to the alert I sent in. So, Ska Ham, Clown Moon, Sugar Mummy. Ska Ham, Clown Moon, Sugar Mummy was my favorite song by the Bee Gees, by the way. I don't know if anyone else has heard that one. 300 bits from Reeler just says, Bethesda is a fun topic, because I found out a few years ago its headquarters are in Maryland, which means I constantly live in the Todd Howard danger zone. Yeah, there's Bethesda is named after the city, right? Like Bethesda, Maryland.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
You are having a time this morning, Kepler.
Give me the bird.
He just has a lot to wash.
Yeah.
Extra dirty morning, which I think is what my Tuesday was, because I was thinking about Thomas. 500 bits and Alex Butterfly says, I sent the mail video to my sister yesterday and it made her day. I just wanted to remind her that there are good people in the world doing good things. P.S. Jonas is on maintenance chemo now and doing well. Good.
Good.
Good. And I'm glad that she enjoyed the mail video. And I'm glad that we got the mail video out.
Yeah.
I know it was a little bit late. But it's out.
Ow. Lifted my hand. I scared Gabby.
Lifting your hand is too dangerous for this household. We'll be working on the next mail video at some point in the future. We may just kind of naturally switch between doing like months and seasons, depending on how busy things are in our lives. We'll see. But the mail will come out at all. It will come out at some point.
Yeah.
Whether that is sooner than you think or not as soon as you think. One of the two. 5 months from over there, thank you.
Thomas said, "Are you ready for a competition
Yeah,
next week?"
I was about to see it. Well, probably not, actually. Probably not.
Why not?
Because we're going to have company.
We have company on Saturday.
We have company for like half of next week. I'm just saying,
Start it on Wednesday. You don't have to start it with the beginning of the week.
Yeah, I might be able to do that. I just don't want to do. I don't want to do a competition with Thomas.
Oh, until
when we have company, because like I will be entertaining company.
We also might go out for walks.
Yeah, but like I can't guarantee that, you know what I mean? Trust me, there's no part of me at all that is worried about losing to Thomas.
Yeah.
Not even a little bit, because that's not a concern of mine. But I do want to make sure that I have the time available to ensure victory. Is really what it's about.
Okay.
So, yeah, Thomas is like, oh? Yeah. It's fine. It's totally fine.
Time to break out the bike.
It'll be, I think, no, I'm not scared of losing. I'm really not scared of losing. I don't know if we're going to look so hot. We'll just be very tired. That's what it'll be. We'll be very tired. We got 500 bits from Danny X6, who says, speaking of PTO, I just found out that the company I'm leaving doesn't pay out unused PTO, so there goes 3.5 weeks of PTO, which is neat.
That sucks. I'm sorry, Danny.
I am very sorry. I guess you're at the end of... So you can't even use it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sucks. Although, knowing that is just helpful for others here who may not know either. Because if you don't know, then, like, this is a good, like, thing of, like, oh, I should find out today. So, Danny, I am sorry, but I hope that happening to you can help someone else to make sure that they know. Yeah, appropriate music. Appropriate, sad music. Regardless, I'm still excited for your next venture, and I hope that losing out on the PTO doesn't put a huge damper on it. I'm nearly to the end of hot chocolate. I do not generally have hot chocolate in the mornings.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Actually, yeah, Danny will be on a ship, so maybe Sinking Ship is not the best song. Let's go to Sticker Star. Danny, please, no. Depending on who you are, for instance, let's say you were, I don't know, Emil. This could be worse. It's true. It could be worse. That is chocolate. Woo!
Did you not dissolve it? Did you put too much in?
I always put too much in.
I know.
I always put too much in. You know why I do that? Because I want to embrace
But at some point, it does not dissolve.
just the last little bit. It's like when you have it's like having a Turkish coffee. It's fine. Because you have a problem. Haley, you come over and you let me make you a hot chocolate and you tell me how much you enjoy it. It'll
You
be a
should
lot.
bring some to our Christmas party.
Oh yeah, I'd love to.
Haley, I do want to do cookies, so maybe like we could do cutouts ahead of time and then just frost them.
I think you've seen how you made toast. Remember earlier when I'm like, I love my friends. Well, maybe not always reciprocated. We got 35 months from Histranger and 13 months from MCL Blue. Thanks. Friend love rescinded.
For a long time, Dan's Discord message was, I love my friends.
Yeah, it changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just recently changed. So that means I think he stopped loving his friends. That ended at some point. We don't know when it ended, but at some point, like the last few months, he was like, "Oh wait, no, never mind. I've changed. I have changed my opinion on this subject." I think he actually changed it to something in regards to moving to Raleigh.
Yeah.
Which is even better, actually, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like, I don't know what it says, but it's something about how life is going to be even better now, or something like that. It's like very, very sweet. It's actually the thing from before, but even better. It's like, I just love my friends, because he does. Dan very much loves his friends.
We saw Dan on Monday.
We did, because we had Pokemon dinner. We all wore Pokemon shirts except Alex, who does not own a Pokemon shirt, and instead said that his sweater was made out of Moltres feathers. Which, personally, I doubt.
I believe him. Why would he lie?
Yeah, Christmas skip. Yeah, that might be it. Alex doesn't own a Pokemon shirt, and that's we need to solve that. Mm-hmm. So the sweater was on fire. It's made of is Moltres on fire? Moltres isn't on fire. He's just a. Let's need to look. Moltres.
Everyone says Moltres is on fire.
Okay, so as it turns out, yeah, Moltres is on fire. Not like all of Moltres, but a bit. Wait, what's this Moltres? Wait, what is this Moltres? This
What
is
is
a
that
Moltres.
noise, Vivis?
Galarian Moltres.
That's the garbage truck.
That's enough internet for today. 5 months from Galactic Baron. Galactic Baron, thank you. Sorry, you Google Moltres and then it's all these Moltres except one, and then you're like, that's not Moltres, but it's on like the Pokemon website, and then you're like, that's not, and then you click it, and then there's a bunch of them, and you're like, oh my god, I can only learn so many things.
Your brain only holds so much.
I can only learn so many things, and it's a small number. I find. So for me, there's always a subject. There's always something that like I don't need to know it often enough to ever actually learn it, but I need to know it enough that I have to keep relearning it.
Yeah.
Everyone probably has something like that.
Yes.
So for me,
I know what mine is.
Really? Mm-hmm. I'm curious.
Photoshop/cameras. Because I feel like at one point in my life, I knew things really well, and then I stopped needing to know it as much, so I forgot a lot and things change, especially with Photoshop.
Okay.
And now, like, trying to do it, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Which is why you're always like, listen, Mal, 10-bit video, and I'm like, I don't remember.
My favorite part of Photoshop is 10-bit video.
Well, I said photography in Photoshop.
Yeah, I mean, there's times I watch you use Photoshop and I have to leave the room, and that's okay.
It's because I learned on CS2.
Yeah, well, CS2 had masking.
I know how to do masks.
Mine actually is also camera adjacent, actually.
Oh.
Yeah. There are things, there's things in like the camera world, in video world and stuff like that, that is very technical.
Yeah.
Like wildly technical. And they are things that interest me, but they're things that I don't need often enough to ever retain. And I hate it. I really hate it because every once in a while I will need to know something similar to it, and then I have to like relearn the information again. And I've had to do that like time and time again, and it's all too technical to stick.
Yeah.
I feel like what I really needed is I probably needed college courses to know this stuff, and
Yeah.
I didn't have them, and I just can't retain it. I really can't. Linda's book says mine is Excel. I use it so much, but the complicated stuff that makes my life so much more easy does not stick in my head. Excel is a really good one.
Yeah, it is.
Because Excel, I think I know what this is about. It's things that have a wide, how do I put this?
Paul's pivot tables.
Things that have a wide range of knowledge within them. So like the world of cameras, Photoshop even, like has you can learn like this much, right? But you can also learn this much, and there's like so much stuff, and Excel's a high skill ceiling. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, Vagabond's right, high skill ceiling. So there's like so much to know. Excel's a great example because anyone can sit down and use Excel. Excel, like on a basic level, very easy to use. But can you like put 10 years of your life into learning every little thing about Excel? Yes. And there's crazy things you can do in Excel.
I
Yeah.
took an Excel class in freshman year of college, and I learned some crazy stuff that I didn't know it could even do.
Yeah.
And then I forgot all of it. And now I can still do like basic things, like basic equations with charts and stuff.
Yeah.
But sometimes I have to be like, I try a few things and then double check my math on a calculator and then make sure it works.
Paul says, somehow I ended up getting it set up where Excel counts as a game to Discord, so it says I'm playing Excel. He says, I don't hate it, so I won't fix it. Yeah, there's just, when you don't use the knowledge all the time,
Yeah.
you forget it.
Yeah.
You just do. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just like a human fallacy.
Ever since I stopped teaching art history, I've forgotten a lot of it.
Yeah. Even down to like using my camera. Like I don't use the FX3 every day. And because of that, there are things that if I go for a long period of time that I forget.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh God, what is the middle gray zebra level for S-Log3? And then I have to think. And like a lot of times I just hope that it's easily Googleable stuff. By the way, it's 41. It's 41. But the reason I know that is because I just had to relearn that because it had been so long since I needed that information.
Needed it for the wedding.
I was like, oh Christ. I was like, if I'm exposing for middle gray using S-Log3, what percent is it? It's 41. Technical crap. Cameras are good about that because you can just hit button and record, but also it's like, do you want to expose this properly? Well then, guess what? We got 500 bits from Mike Eo, who says, speaking of Pokemon, I just got back into Pokemon Go. Lots of fun now that the game functions better than on launch. Pokemon Go's been around for so long.
Yeah, it has.
So long. Are we at 10 years on Go yet? No, not 10. 6 years? When did Pokemon Go come out? July 6, 2016. So just about at this point, 6.5 years. Okay. Yeah, I guess 10 years is too long. That's a long time, though.
Yeah.
That's a long time. It is good that the game functions better now than on launch. One would hope that although that's not always the case. That is not always the case with games.
Sometimes they get worse.
Sometimes they are adding things to games, whether it's mobile or otherwise, and it bogs things down to the point where they don't load well anymore. And that's bad. That's not good. We got 16 months from Ethan Nico Margashi. Thank you. This is wild stuff. Paul says, recently I've been having to do a lot of spreadsheet/pivot/data manipulation type stuff programmatically, so I've been doing a lot in Python/pandas rather than Excel. I've never heard of pandas.
Me neither.
That one's new. SumoBot uses that setup. It's fun, actually. One of my favorite things is talking to someone who has skill sets that are like wildly different than mine, because it's just fascinating to me. Mm-hmm. Like, if someone can use Excel at a high level, then I'm very impressed, because the most that I can do is like
keep a spreadsheet of all the games you have.
Yeah, well, yeah, and like that's not even adding anything. I can do ones that add things, and like that's it. I can put information on a thing. Huh?
Equals sum.
Yes, that's it. That's equals sum. Are there other equations you can do in Excel?
You can do like averages.
No, I think just sum. Equals sum.
You can do like a full equation, like a2 plus c3 squared to the 5th power.
Or, and hear me out,
just sum.
Sum. Why would you need to do anything other than add? What other math is there? There's like subtract.
Paul made SumoBot.
You have to buy Excel Pro to get the DLC beyond sum. Oh, the future is bleak.
Paul made SumoBot to pick Rikishi for our sumo drafts.
Yeah. Yeah. How has the robot done?
He said he lost the last 2.
I feel like whenever I was paying closer attention to it, it was always falling pretty well in the middle, though, right?
For a while, yeah.
So
I still have not won any, because I was talking to Kyle about, because he does fantasy football. He's like, yeah, I've won our little tournament twice now, and his friends put money down. It won once and otherwise been bad, Paul says. And I was like, oh, we don't put money down, but I have not won any. So then I asked if we had the stats on that, and Paul did, so Paul made a little chart.
yeah.
I have not won. I got a lot of silvers.
I think the one time that I won, I tied with Chaz, and then Chaz got 1 additional point somehow. I think.
Yeah, there's a special points on the last day.
And then he won as a result.
Yeah.
And I was like, but we tied. He was like, no, you are 2nd place. And I was like, but we tied? He's like, no.
On the last day,
and then I was like, I won't play again.
There's 2 special prizes that they award to people. There's the Fighting Spirit prize and the another one. So one of his got one of those special prizes. And you get an extra point for that. Juliet has won a lot.
Yes.
But Juliet's not making the picks. Juliet's actually picking for their family, because their family plays with us.
Yeah, I don't know if people know that.
Technique is the prize.
Yeah, Juliet's parents are actually super into sumo. And when we do sumo draft, Juliet calls their parents and talks to them on the phone. And they're like, all right, we want this person. And like, they're doing a really great job.
Yeah.
They're doing a really great job because, yeah,
Do we
they've
have
won a lot.
the medal chart easily accessible?
It's not impossible, but maybe.
Oh, it's the last thing posted. Oh wait, that's not it.
Oh my god.
This is it. Stats.
Are you gonna screenshot
Yeah, I'm just gonna
that?
screenshot it.
Okay. Mao is getting an image so you can see this yourself. She will post it. Everything is she's doing it. It's happening.
Chaz already has it.
Yeah, when you were going through all that, I was like, I bet you anything that Chaz will just beat you to this, almost certainly.
It's in mod.
Yeah, sumo is every 2 months, 6 times
There
a
it
year.
is.
So that's golds, silvers, and bronzes.
There's mine. I have a lot of silvers.
Yeah, it does insinuate. This does insinuate that some of us have not won very often and are bad. But
Some of
however,
us have not played as much as others.
yeah, some of us have just not played very much because I have only played a small amount of time.
Yeah.
But what it ends up looking like is that I just am bad, and it's not that I'm bad. It's just that I haven't done a whole lot.
There's like 6 of us who play all the time, and then everyone else like sometimes joins in.
Yeah, I once I got behind on work, I just stopped joining in because I was like, I need all the additional time I can get. Or I'm playing with golf scoring, in which case I'm not doing too bad. I'm gonna make sure that I just have a few points. Just keep things interesting. I have played more than once though, so like I didn't get in top 3 but once. It's fine. We've been doing it a long time, actually. And I do want to reiterate for folks, especially the
At
folks
least
out
2
there.
years, because it's been in my TED show for 2 years ago.
I bet longer than that.
Yeah.
I do want to reiterate for folks that are not typically into sports. Sumo fun. Sumo fun, because like I'm not a sportsman. I don't really care for the sports. And I do like watching sumo. Sumo is like WWE. Yeah, I mean I could see that comparison. The advantage that I like about sumo, the thing that I like is that matches are over in like 10 seconds. Like you can watch if you're watching just the highlights, like not even the fights. If you're watching just the fights, like if all of the fluff gets cut out and you watch just the fights, you can watch the entire like day of sumo.
45 minutes for at least the top division.
5 minutes.
Oh, if you're doing it that fast, yeah.
Yeah, if you're watching just the fights, like go. This is this person, this is this person, fight. You can watch all of them in like 5 minutes. And I think that's neat because it's just like pure sport content. That would be like, what's the closest sport that has no downtime? Basketball?
I don't know.
Sports with sorry, I'm not a big fan of sports with downtime. There's a lot of sports with downtime.
Football has a lot of downtime.
Football has a lot of downtime. Baseball has a lot of downtime. I would say hockey's probably a good one. Hockey, soccer, and basketball would probably be the ones that I came up with. God, baseball though. Baseball is just. I know we have baseball fans, and I don't mean to make you feel bad about the sport, but like there's so much nothing in baseball. There's just standing, there's looking.
That's true, NDL. The last 2 minutes of a basketball game are so long.
I've watched a lot of basketball games. I do like being at a baseball game. Being at a baseball game is fun. I like that. Because there is...
Exactly what Paul said?
Yes. Yeah, the game is largely incidental. It's true. Like, that's how I feel about baseball. And, like, if I'm at a baseball game, I will watch the baseball game because you can't miss it. It barely happens. Like, you can go to the bathroom and then you can go get the nachos and you can chill. And then at some point, they're like, we're going to throw the ball now. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm ready. And then they throw the ball. And, like, someone hits the ball. Then you go back to the nachos. Thunderstriker, I agree, and I like baseball. It's kind of the way it is. When I go to a baseball game, like I enjoy myself, but there is plenty of time to pee. That's what sports are about. Like, how much time do I have to pee? Baseball, a lot of time to pee. Basketball, not as much time to pee.
Big Papa says there's nothing like being at a hockey game, though. Steven's gonna get to experience that soon.
Yeah, that's the one thing I haven't... Is that the one sport I haven't seen? No, there's lots
out of like some of the bigger U.S. sports, you mean?
I've been to a high school football game. I've never been to a
Professional?
A professional or college level
I've never
football game.
been to a Packers game. I want to go.
Okay. Doesn't it take like years and a lot of
No,
dollars?
that's season tickets.
Okay.
You can get regular tickets.
How much does it cost to see
I
a
don't
football?
know. It depends where you sit. It's best if you get a box, though. But we're gonna go to a hockey game in the spring.
That's it. I haven't seen any NASCAR, and that would be fun. You know what I really want? And this isn't a sport, unless someone here is very adamant about declaring it a sport. Monster truck. I would love to go to a monster truck rally. That would be cool. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Or a destruction derby.
I've been to a destruction derby.
Really?
Wisconsin International Raceway, WIR, in Kaukauna.
Yeah.
Was not far from where I grew up, and they did an EVA destruction, like, around Halloween.
Oh.
And they had a figure 8 track, and that was fun.
Yeah, like that, that would be fun. Be there, Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
The best one that they did at EVA Destruction was they had to do like a trailer, so everyone had like a boat or a camper or something,
Yeah.
and they drove the figure 8 track. That was fun. That was my favorite one.
Yeah, I would be down to see that. And yeah, we got to go to a hockey game at some point.
We're gonna go.
A hockey game is just a destruction derby with people. Tell me I'm wrong. 7 months from Sacademus. 30 months from Rosafan84Pi. 300 Bits from Desitel says, I used to work in the NBA for the Detroit Pistons. There was nothing I hated more than a close game that dragged on forever. It is very exciting for fans, though. When it's like, oh man. You get a lot of extra game. And depending how long it goes, there can be a lot of extra game. A whole lot. I wouldn't mind going to another basketball game at some point. That'd be fun. Actually, I've never been to a basketball game.
I went to a lot of
I've
high
watched
school's basketball games.
I've watched so much NBA. Like, when I was younger, I watched so much NBA on the television that I guess my brain was like, you've been to a basketball game, but then I actually haven't been to a basketball game. Other than, like, high school basketball. But yeah, I like that. I would do that again. There's like all sorts of sports. What other sports?
I've been to a few gymnastics competitions in college because one of my roommates was on our college gymnastic team. And that was fun. I learned a lot, which is why I like watching it on the Olympics, because I know a lot about it.
Is there a lot of downtime in that?
depends.
I just came up with what I think might have the
Like-
most downtime.
Like, you rotate where your team is, so, like my college team, they'd start on, like, beam, like, for one of them, and then they'd rotate to floor, and then they'd rotate to uneven bars, and then they'd rotate to vault. So, like, some of them, like, vault does not take as long as floor.
You know what probably...
So then you kind of have to wait for other people to finish.
What probably has one of the most downtimes would be golf.
Yeah.
The fact that you have to go to the hole, and then the one person does the hit, and then you wait, and then the other person does the hit, and then you wait, and then eventually it's like...
Golf is only downtime.
And then eventually you have to walk to the next hole.
Yeah.
There are so many sports that, like, and honestly, to some extent, I would say every sport. Every sport. Every sport is enhanced by television. The fact that there are cameras that can get a better shot than you would ever be able to get being there, I don't know, man. It's not that I'm advising anyone not see a sport in person, but many sports are better by staying at home. Because then you could just see, like,
I went to a Formula
right
1
on the
race
field
once.
or whatever. Huh?
I went to a Formula 1 race once,
Oh, yeah?
and it was like a road course, so like you could only see like one turn, and like the cars would come and then they'd go, and it would be like 10 minutes, and then the cars would come and then the cars would go, and like it was really boring because of that.
That sounds awful.
And they
Stephen
would be
George,
like,
sports expert.
and we'd be sitting on like turn 6, and they'd be like, accident in turn 1, and you couldn't see it, and they would like be like, the number 7 cars ahead of the number 6 car, and you'd be like, that's...
There's something really amazing happening that you don't get to see.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. All right.
Where, Mal? It was in southern Wisconsin, like southeast somewhere. I don't know. I don't even know if it was like high up on Formula 1 tiers of like who's good. It was just like an uncle was like,
Who's
hey,
good?
I got tickets to this. Yeah, Road America. Thank you, Ryan. My uncle was like, I got tickets. You want to go? And I was like, okay. I didn't know anything about it.
Reading from Jacob Weedle says, petition to get Steven to attend the Cornhole World Series. I would do that. I like cornhole. I don't play it like all the time because is there someone that plays it all the time? But I do like cornhole anytime I've played it.
Ryan says it might have been IndyCar, not Formula 1. It was like 2002, so I don't really remember.
Haley says, I played the national anthem at a NASCAR game, and they put us on the corner so I at least could see the cars run into each other. Course is a lot smaller, though, so I didn't feel like I missed out. That's neat, though, that you got to play the national anthem at NASCAR. 3 Different Desdale says, for road courses, stay home. For ovals, especially short tracks, they are better in person. Yeah, I mean, it really comes down to, like, what can you see?
Yeah. I
What
know
can
there
you
are
see?
2 tracks nearby-ish, because Darlington isn't too far, and Winston-Salem isn't too far either. But I don't remember what those tracks look like.
Yeah, it's I would go watch a race. As long as I could
Charlotte, too.
As long as I could see the whole track.
Yeah.
Unlike your experience with the IndyCar or whatever, like where you,
At Road America?
yeah, where you get to see you and then that's it. That would be very upsetting. I wouldn't love that. What's the place that does great? Monaco.
Yeah, Monaco.
Like going to Monaco as a city, that would be interesting. But to see the Monaco Grand Prix and to only see like a small section of it, I don't know if that would be the best way to experience that. Oh, Haley says the races are insanely loud though. Not very fun for those of us who hate sound.
Yeah, if we were going, I would get the big over-the-ear.
Earmuffs.
Yeah.
You can't just get away with the...
I think you can, but Loud noises, I do not like loud noises.
We could get headsets.
So we could, talk to each other?
Yeah.
Haley said I had both and I was still in pain.
Oh, God. That's one thing about that's a thing from the watch, is that it just yells at you when loud noises are happening. Mm-hmm. You can set it, right? But it's on by default, and you can set, like, the decibel level. And by default, I think it's set to 90. So anything over 90, your watch is like, this is loud. Just want you to know, like, if you stand here for a while, you're going to do permanent damage.
Toasted Puck says, get earplugs if you don't like loud noises at the Canes game. That's good to know. That we should bring earplugs to the Canes game.
Okay. I can make that happen. Tony from Satsy says, last night I made cake. Well, cakes. Then I heard skittering in the walls and remembered there's been mice, so I stored the cakes in the microwave. Also, UK is rationing eggs. Good thing I got some before that news hit.
We're doing that
doing
too?
something with eggs.
I mean, when
there
we
was
went to
an egg,
Costco, they
there
were
was an
like
egg limit.
one. Yeah, there was an egg limit.
There was an egg limit, so I don't know if that's a global thing.
Paul, that is such a thing. Like, for your job specifically, that's just like bureaucracy.
Wow. Sound warning in earplug dispenser in the bathroom. Yeah, they also stopped selling... So during the pandemic, or maybe it was just certain Costco locations, we were buying 5 dozen eggs at a time.
I think it's location-based.
Is it location-based?
Because there's a lot of tourists who will go through the eggs in Myrtle Beach, and not as many here in Raleigh.
Okay. We also stopped buying 5 dozen eggs.
Yeah.
We were buying 5 dozen eggs.
Brandon said they stopped in Memphis, though, too.
Okay. Yeah, we were buying 5 dozen because we were only going to the store like once every 2 months. So we would go buy 5 dozen eggs, and then we were just set for like a long time. But now that we're going more often, we don't have to do that. And they're not large eggs. They're...
Medium?
I think they're medium eggs. Which makes a huge difference, actually. If you've never seen, like, the difference between medium eggs and, like, extra large eggs, like, they're completely different eggs. I eat scrambled eggs.
Just not every day.
Yeah. There was a time where I was eating them a lot. And I don't as much now. So, but I like eggs a lot. I just don't eat them every single day. I actually don't even eat them very often now.
We don't have any eggs right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we have quiche, but you don't eat that.
But I also just go through phases. I go through big phases on, like, do I want to eat this? And do I want to eat this every day?
You were in a cereal phase. I saw
I'm
you
coming
bought
out of
a
it.
lot of breakfast, like frozen breakfast stuff.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah, which I never, ever buy. But I was at the grocery store by myself.
Which was a mistake. I saw what you brought home. You brought home so many things for the freezer.
What part
You bought
was a mistake?
You bought frozen chicken wings and like a stromboli thing and some breakfast thing, and there was at least 2 more.
Okay. One of the things that I was told to purchase was lunch for yourself.
Okay.
Did I not do that?
I mean, you did that for like a long time.
A lifetime?
A long time.
No, I did not.
How long is that gonna last you?
A week?
Are you having any of it today?
I don't know, I guess.
We have leftover taco stuff, so
Well
you're
then,
not.
well then no. But it's also freezer stuff. It doesn't go bad. It's in the freezer. I'm honest to God, genuinely perplexed that you would say that I did something wrong. I literally followed I brought home all of the stuff that you needed for tacos, and then you have food for lunch. I don't. I ran out of food for lunch. So I was like, get stuff not for us to have together, but for you to have for lunch. And I did. Mm-hmm. I did that. What could I have done differently?
Just with what you picked, it feels like you were a kid on like a shopping spree. Like,
it's because
stromboli, ooh, chicken wings.
It's because I didn't have an agenda. What happens is I often eat sandwiches. I often get lunch meat and cheese and stuff and make sandwiches, but I have eaten so many gosh dang sandwiches that I was like, I can't eat another sandwich, so I need to pick out something else. And I was like, what should I do? And I was like, I'll just walk through the frozen aisle and I'll just pick up some stuff that I can eat there. So I did that. I don't know what you expected.
I don't know.
What would you have picked?
I'm eating quiche.
I know you're eating quiche.
And I can eat like cashew butter and jam like all the time. Or I would do like overnight oats.
Oh no,
Exactly,
the
Haley.
ham! The ham! I can't wait the ham!
Listen. Mallory, this is crazy to me. Mallory and I eat lunch together.
Yeah.
Quiche is something that she microwaves. So her lunch is ready instantaneously. If I am going to get a lunch, then I want to make something that also is ready fairly quickly so I can eat at the same time, so I'm not in the kitchen preparing a lunch. So that's why I picked out stuff that would be made at the same time. It just makes so much sense to me. I don't know why. Because I don't want to make a sandwich. Haley says, what if you made something for yourself that you could eat over the week? I mean, and I do that occasionally.
What if you make like a big tray of lasagna and you have it all week? And then the next week you make, I don't know, hot dish.
I mean, I do that occasionally. Like, I made, for the past 2 days, I made a pizza. We had a pizza. Mm-hmm. And I made the pizza and I ate the pizza over the course of 2 days. So, like, I can do that.
Becca, they're the Tyson Anytizer wings that he got.
Yeah. Because they're easier. They're easier.
Listen, we're gonna start doing soup exchange and we're gonna have soup.
Okay. I mean, like, whatever, it's, you know, but I was not even planning on going to the market by myself.
Yeah.
That was a last minute decision because Mal's like, I really have some things I need to do here. And
That's
I was
a good
like,
idea, Haley.
I was like, that's fine. I'll go get stuff. So I went to the market and I got all the stuff. And then it was like, one of the things is like, also, I need to eat. And I'm like, all right, I don't want sandwiches.
Chaz.
Thank you, Chaz.
Chaz, I don't like the Anytizers.
Thank you, Chaz. Vindication. Because the most important thing is, like, I have something to eat. And I do. I don't see what the big deal is.
I guess just with me, if I were there and...
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Listen.
I guess just with me.
Listen, let me talk. Let me finish this thought. If I was, like, told to go get lunch stuff and I needed as much food as you need, I would get, like, 1 week I might get salad stuff and do salad all week. The next week, maybe I would get, I don't know, something else. But, like, I'm willing to prepare, I am willing to prepare food. You are not.
First off, that's not true. Saying that I am not willing to prepare food is not true. However, do I very much value my time, especially when I'm in a month where I'm trying to get caught up on stuff? Yes. Yes. Yes, I do. And the other thing is, salad is a terrible choice for me because, as Spinach Wrap points out, I have to eat huge salads. Huge salads. They're if I'm only eating a salad, it would Thomas would be working on it for weeks. Honest to God, that's how much salad I have to eat. It's too much salad. Because I have to buy the thing where it's it feeds 8 people. I just open that up and pour dressing on it. It's
Right, Haley?
Meet me under the mistletoe with Tiny Eddie's Centennial Licorice and Raisin Squares.
That's a bit from Bellabine says, all right, enough fighting. Tiny Eddie, assign Steven a lunch for the week. Licorice and raisin squares. Do raisins come in a square? You know, I almost bought licorice.
It's on the list. Why didn't you buy it? Did you take it off my list? Did you take it off my list? You did not take it off my list. We still have sliced cheese. Just a little. Why is that on there still?
It's when I want to get cheese and I have to remind myself to just buy a little.
I'm taking sliced.
Don't touch that. I didn't remove your licorice. Don't remove my cheese. Don't do it.
Sliced cheese. Just a little.
That's because I want to not buy too much cheese. When I'm the only one eating the cheese, it goes bad if we buy the Costco pack of cheese. We have to make an agreement. We have to, in the store, shake hands that we're both going to eat the cheese. Because sometimes I'm like, we're both going to eat the cheese. And you're like, we're both going to eat the cheese. And I get home and I'm like, you're not making a sandwich. And you're like, I don't feel like a sandwich. And I'm like, the cheese is going to go bad. We made an agreement in the store to eat the cheese. You can't rescind the agreement. When you get home, you don't get to say, you know what, I want cashew butter today. No, we have to eat the cheese. That is why I have adjusted the shopping list to no longer just say sliced cheese, which makes us buy it from Costco, but instead to put sliced cheese just a little. So I know it's for me. I will buy a small pack at the grocery store because you can't be trusted to eat the cheese.
Haley, you guys have different conversations.
Yeah,
This does work in reverse.
Haley, be careful because I know your conversations and you don't want to be called out. So be careful. 300 for Bellabine says, I just woke up. What is this clown nonsense? I like how that was sent a few minutes ago and still applies. Nothing has changed. 300 from Slick Duke says, Steven just only needed some ham.
Haley says, call me out.
Coffee.
I do want to get back into sandwich stuff. But let's wait a little bit. Wait a little bit till we get back to the sandwich.
Kids hated their gifts. Give them Tiny Eddie's Halloween dog gelato.
I really hate that, Tiny Eddie.
Gelato now for dogs. That's a bit from Cheesehammer says, if only you had a way to prepare excess frozen cheese. It's sliced cheese. It's sliced. You can't hit sliced cheese with a hammer. I guess you could freeze sliced cheese.
Yes, you could. You just have to put something between each one.
Yeah,
so you can still
I just never have thought that I had to do that because when we buy it, I assume we're going to eat it.
Yeah.
Do they make gelato for dogs? I don't know.
They make dog ice cream.
So
they sell it in the freezer aisle.
It's not impossible. And from Bell Bunny, it says, Mal, you know what you have to do. Cut the cheese. And then place your portion into the freezer so it doesn't go bad. We're solving problems. Galactic Baron says, dog gelato is a thing. They do have it. Neat. Then from Galactic Baron also says, cheese blood packed. We do. We make lots of blood packs, you know, in the Costco. Jesus Christ, Haley. Haley says, seriously though, when it comes to talking about food, their combo stresses out so much, I have had to leave the room.
See, I don't ever feel like we're actually angry at each other ever.
No. Also, life is way more fun.
Yeah.
When the tiny, dumb things are blown up to outlandish proportion. It's way more humorous. Like, the thing that's happening here also happens in our private lives, and it's way more fun. And it's way more fun to raise your voice about cheese. I like it. I think it keeps life interesting and enjoyable. 300 Bits and Padawan Bag says, Jerry Seinfeld / George Costanza cheese argument activated.
So you gonna call Haley out?
No.
She did say we'd like to have conversations about being a little snake and curling around a coffee cup.
Yeah, like, yeah. Yeah, Haley says, we were having video chats over COVID, and they would start discussing who would get what snack for an uncomfortably long time. I soon decided that I would just come into the convo like 10 minutes after it started, so I didn't have to hear it. I mean, that was literally performance art. Like, that's me and Mal doing that literally for Alex and Haley. You're welcome. You're welcome. And you know what? It brought us great joy.
Maybe not Haley great joy.
It didn't bring Haley great joy, but it brought us great joy. Yes, and I unsubscribed to who you were doing it for. Alex. And he loved it. He loved every moment.
Ow.
I think your body exploded.
It's from doing the yoga. Did you hear my shoulders?
Jeez. You okay?
Yeah.
Seems serious. 300 from Galactic Baron. Cheese cult, praise the cheese gods. All hail cheddar god of art, Swiss god of chaos, and cheese hammer god of hammers. I do like cheese. It's a shame that we can't buy very much of it, because it'll go bad.
Just a little.
Just a little cheese. Because the pack at Costco I bought, it would have 4 cheeses in it at once, which I liked. Because then you could change it up, you know. You can get a little, you can have a sandwich one day with cheddar, and a sandwich one day with Swiss, and a sandwich one day with...
Colby Jack?
Colby Jack. What's the 4th one they put in there?
Pepper Jack?
Maybe Pepper Jack.
I don't remember.
But when you buy it at the store for one person, aka just a little, you just buy like one. And I normally buy just like
Coffee.
cheddar.
Did you see what Haley said?
Give me the bird.
That's empty. Also empty.
What kind of entertainer are you to call out when my cup is empty? It's for dramatic effect. But how dare you? What kind of creed do you assign yourself to? Three from Cheesehammer says, praise the cheese, raise your voices and praise the cheese. It's kind of been a wild breakfast stream.
It has.
Which I personally really like. When there's a certain amount of energy. Chaotic energy. We haven't even done beans? Oh, God. Well, now we have. Sorry. 5 from Robert N. who says, what if Mario Kart 8 custom items, but it's only sliced cheese and cheese hammers? So, bananas and...
Bullet Bill.
I think cheese hammer is closer to a Koopa shell.
Okay.
Sliced cheese is like a banana. Like, you put the cheese down and people slip on the cheese. But a cheese hammer, that's like a, you're throwing it. I mean, if you're holding it, then that is more
The
like,
POW block.
that's more like
Night Owl has a good one.
Oh yeah, if you're holding it, then that's more like the Piranha Plant. When are people going to hack in cheese to Mario Kart? Sorry. Things I didn't think I'd be saying at the beginning of the stream, but now make perfect sense. 22 months from Cheese's Saves. Appropriate. 300 for Bella Bunny says, now I'm curious, what happens if you slap a slice of Kraft onto Steven's head? I probably wouldn't eat it.
I only like Kraft American if I'm doing
Grilled cheese?
Because it is nostalgic.
Yeah, I don't know that I would use Kraft cheese for anything else.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, I wouldn't put it on a sandwich with, like, ham.
That's what they use at Waffle House. When they put just a slice of cheese on the hash browns.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, Kraft is for grilled cheese, and that's
Slip Duke says I use it for burgers. I'd be okay with it on burgers, but I'd rather have like cheddar.
I'm fine with it on burgers. I'm fine with that with it on burgers. I think I would prefer a different cheese, but I'll do American cheese on a burger.
Yeah,
that's fine. Oh, a bologna sandwich. I haven't had a bologna sandwich in forever. Bologna sandwiches I actually did a lot whenever I was younger. I like bologna too. It's not something we normally would buy now, but...
I don't like it.
You don't like it at all? Mm-hmm. When was the last time you had it?
I don't know.
Forever ago?
Yeah.
You know what I've never had?
What?
Spam.
Really?
Ever. In my entire life. I've never had Spam. And I would like to try it. Like, I would like to try it in...
Just cut off little slices and, like, fry them on a skillet.
Yeah, like, yeah, like, it's, you know... I want to try some dish or something with Spam.
Scroll up. A little further.
Oh my god.
A little further. I don't remember.
Oh my god, Mallory! Scroll up. Further. Further. Yeah, I would like to try Spam. That's one thing that I haven't ever tried, and I would be willing.
Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. I just got an email from Katz's Deli.
Oh yeah.
And they were like, "Hey, it's pastrami season," and I was like, "Oh."
Is it pastrami season?
I have no idea. That's what the email said.
I don't think it's pastrami in season. The pastrami is beautiful this time of year. Don't think it's seasonal.
Anyway, I'm not getting that for you for Christmas because you got something for Christmas. It is already.
Yeah, please do not get me anything for Christmas. You literally already did. Nothing else. Please, thank you.
Oh, Noah says pastrami ripens about this time of
The
year.
ham! I can't wait the ham!
Can we buy some Spam?
I mean, you can. It's at the store. You're capable.
Are you telling me where to acquire it? I know where to acquire it. I just want to know if like we would have it together.
I mean, I would have a small piece.
Like as a bonding experience. We'll both have it. Like we can do like the Beauty and the Tramp. Nope.
Coffee.
What is it? It's Doggy and the Tramp. Beauty and the Tramp. No. What is that movie? It's the dogs.
Lady and the Tramp.
Lady and the Tramp. The Lady and the Tramp with the spaghetti. We could do it with Spam. Yeah, Lady and the Tramp, Beauty and the Beast. What did I say at the beginning?
Lady and the Tramp. Or the Beauty and the Tramp.
Beauty and the Tramp, yeah. Beauty and the Tramp. Haley has, I mean, dragged us today.
I know.
Completely dragged us.
I know.
I dragged us on Tuesday too, but I mean today she was like, oh, I wasn't done, and just like, "Urgh!" If I didn't have to be your friend. It's lovely. 300 bits of cheese hammer. It says, you should have a Spam and cheese sandwich. I'll help. You do have to like flatten this Spam, right? Because it comes in a container, and when you cut it off, it's got to be
I don't
bigger.
know. I've never done anything with it.
I've never had it. Certified Disney Trivia Master. God, I made so many people in Extra Life mad.
I was mad.
It was great. Can't wait for that video to come out. And from Battle Rebecca, it says, when you try Spam, you have to listen to Weird Al's Spam song while watching the Monty Python Spam sketch for the Spam to take full effect.
I don't like Spam.
I don't think I've seen the Spam sketch. I know the Spam song, but I've never seen the Spam sketch. And Spam is also like a show. Spam-A-Lot.
Oh, that's the musical.
Yeah. Because when I was in London, there were ads for it at the time, which was back in 2007. Yeah. 2007.
You know, Tim Minchin did Matilda musical.
Yeah.
It was in Seattle one time when we were at PAX, and I wanted to see it. But Netflix did a movie adaptation of his musical version, and it comes out on Christmas Day.
Oh, that's cool.
And I would like to watch it.
Yeah, no, that would be fine.
Because I
like Tim Minchin.
I liked the Roald Dahl book, but I also liked the original movie with what's his face? I can't think of the actor who played her dad. Offhand.
Yeah, I would watch that with you. We got 4 6 months from Opie SSBM.
Danny DeVito, thank you.
300 bits from Satsy says, I don't even like cheese. I have to get the cheese alternative, which incidentally, I do freeze. Hey, Cheesehammer, how would you like to adopt me? Because there's no way there will be food over here for much longer. I mean, having a cheese hammer is helpful. It just doesn't help you with sliced cheese.
Coffee.
Unless you really want it to become shredded. Shredded. It would be called broken cheese. We don't have a thing called broken cheese.
Crumble?
But we could, crumble cheese. Crumble cheese. Yeah, crumble cheese. 300 from Bella Bunny says, marital combat. I like it. 300 from Genesis, it says, so one time down here in Florida, our local playhouse did a double feature of Spam-A-Lot and then Camelot, which turned the latter into an unintentional comedy. I bet that would be fun. I haven't even seen much of Monty Python stuff, but Anytime I've seen stuff, I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
That sense of humor jives with me very, very well. We should probably wrap up. Your video's already out.
Yeah. The painting ends Saturday? The auction?
Okay. Mal did an Animal Crossing video.
Yes.
So, like, watch
Watch it.
it. Trying to think what else.
What's Stephen and Friends?
For this Saturday?
Yeah.
It's probably Jackbox.
Yeah.
I don't think we have anything else.
Friday's the end of Stray. And
Well, we'll see. But tomorrow night we are finishing Stray, and if time permits, is how I should phrase it.
okay.
If time permits, after finishing Stray, we will do Big Brain Academy for Wii. We are contractually obligated to play it because it raised money for Extra Life.
And the disc did not work.
And the disc didn't work. So we have since bought another copy of Big Brain Academy.
In Minnesota.
So we are going to be playing, hopefully tomorrow. Hopefully we'll just do Stray. We'll have a little bit of time left in the stream, and we'll do Big Brain Academy. So
Yeah.
that's the hope. It'll just be the two of us. Just me and Mal tomorrow night. Tabletop is something that we do need to do, but I haven't talked to Chaz about, so I can't tell you when it's going to happen. I can say with certainty it won't be this weekend.
No, it will not be this weekend.
No, it definitely won't be this weekend because we'll have company. So,
And Tuesday Breakfast Stream Company will be there. Probably. We haven't asked them, but
Yeah.
they've done it before.
just tell them who it is.
It's my dad and Rhonda.
Just tell them because you've given them so much information at this point that they will know.
My dad and Rhonda are going to visit.
Just tell them. Haley says, stream with us, stream with us. Sorry, based on this stream, Haley, I'm not so sure you like us. But I'm sure that we'll probably stream with Alex and Haley again soon. We'll probably do tabletop stuff with them
Yeah.
when we get back to it at whatever point that is. I don't know when that is. Sometime soon. I do know. Actually, the more hatred, the more love. Which means, honestly, I feel just completely enveloped in warmth. It's very sweet. It's very sweet. It's the dragging is just really dragging us to...
Alex does this too.
He does, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's... Renee. She's just treating you how you treat Christmas. Why does everyone think I hate Christmas? When did this happen? When did people think I started hating Christmas? You did this. You said something. You told them something about me hating Christmas. I don't hate Christmas. Ah!
Haley said it's because we both had brothers and know how siblings should be treated.
I never had a sibling. So when people are like...
Haley and Alex both had a brother.
I know.
They each had a brother.
Well, you fought with Carly.
I mean, yeah, but it was different.
Yeah, within the first few days of meeting Alex, like, he was punching me. And I was like, hey, okay, no, let's not punch. And he was like, punch! And I was like, no, please don't hit me. Why are you hitting me? And he was like, you're my brother! And I'm like, I'm not. Steven, you told us about how much you hated Christmas. I did! That never happened! That never happened! I have never said that! Where did this come from? I don't understand where this even originated. I've never gotten up and been like, you know, one thing I don't like Christmas cheer. Nom, 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 nom. Like, that's never occurred. Ever. Oh my God. I didn't say I hate Christmas lights. That's never occurred. The The only thing that I said is that it's hard to hang them. It's hard. You have to get up on a ladder. You could fall, and then you could get hurt, and then you'd have to go to the doctor. So anyway, 300 bits from Battle on Becca says Mal gets to have Christmas lights put up when? They're up. They're up because I put them up, which is something that someone who didn't like Christmas wouldn't do, but I do like Christmas, so I did it.
You did complain about it the whole time.
I did complain about it a little bit because it was cold and I was on the ladder and my fingers were numb. But I did it. I did it.
It was like 56 degrees out and you were like...
It was cold.
Coffee.
380 from Bellvine says, "You're a mean one, Mr. Grundle."
Coffee.
300 from Robert says, "Christmas is hard." Stephen George 2022. Christmas is hard. It's very difficult. It's a very difficult time of year. All right. All right. Are you ready to be done?
Yes.
I feel like I went on an emotional journey for 90 minutes.
Coffee.
I can't wait for the official Stephen Corp roast stream.
Coffee.
Look, the official theme song from Frozen is playing to put us in the Christmas spirit. 300 from Galactic Baron, Cheese Journey. 3 from Becca, who says, "Do it for a meal in your high-pitched Christmas hate voice. Say,
What's this sticky red coat? It's moving!
and with that, I'm going to end here. The vlog is out. It's the Thanksgiving vlog. It is very good. It's very good. Take a peek at it when you get a chance, because it's...
You're in it?
Yes, watch it because I'm in it. Do it because I'm there. I'm exhausted.
Because everyone is dragging through the mud.
I am not this exhausted after doing a 6-hour stream. I am physically exhausted from 90 minutes. Oh my god.
I'm great.
I know, you're doing good. 3 from Cheese Saver says, "Cheese Cult Dome, praise cheeses." I like how there's just been this other like undertone the entire thing of like praising cheese. Like multiple people sending in alerts all morning. Like we're arguing about all this stuff, but then there's this underlying thing of like, cheese! Thank you, cheese! All hail cheese!
Costco Condritis.
Okay. Alright. Everyone have a wonderful Thursday in the beautiful holiday season, which we all love and appreciate and feel so strongly about. Hang your Christmas lights, put up your Christmas decorations, hug your friends even when they drag you through the mud. And then we will be back tomorrow night.
Your stomach.
My stomach will be there. It'll be great. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, we will be here to finish up Stray. And if we have time, also Mal will play Big Brain, and I will hold a controller and press buttons while Big Brain is on screen. It'll be great. 12 months from Umami Meow. And with that, we're out. I'm not going to go to a post screen because instead you should go watch the Thanksgiving Day vlog. So I will just end this with you pick the dome.
In a case of emergency, I pray to Jesus.
I can't breathe. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die on stream. Christmas dome. Thank you. We're done. I've got to get out of here. I have got to end the stream.